Hi, it's Tyler, Real Estate Guy, and today we're doing a new construction final walkthrough on this beautiful home that you see here behind me. As we walk through the house, I'm gonna show you some things you might wanna look for, so let's step inside. This is an absolutely gorgeous home, and you can see the front landscaping is in. That's pretty normal. Somebody drove on the yard, so that's one thing that we're gonna wanna ask the superintendent to put on his punch list. Normally builders will have you walk around the outside of the house with them and then go inside, so we're gonna do that exact same thing. So as we come around the side of the house here, you're gonna see that the house next door is higher, right? It sits higher than this house, so you've got this little berm here. So it's extremely important that you have higher dirt here along the edge of the house and that it slopes down towards this bigger side. So when you get a big rainstorm, a lot of water, it's not gonna run into your house. So I can see here, and you can probably see as well, that the builder has sloped it to the side yard and then down to the back. So there shouldn't be any problems here. And then we come around the corner here, at least in Utah, it's a code. We have basements. So because there's stairs right here, they wanna make sure some little kid doesn't come down and fall into the window well. So it is code that they have that metal grate over that window right there. And then as we come around the corner here, we see another issue here. The rubber around the window well cover has been ripped off. So we're gonna make sure that the builder puts that on the punch list as well. Right here, you got your sprinkler system and your AC unit and power to the house. So really, I'm not seeing anything else to be too concerned with outside. All right, so as we step up here onto the front porch, it looks good, except there's a piece of tape up there and we're missing light bulbs up here. So we definitely wanna make sure that light bulbs are installed. That's something else we'd put on the list. And when you don't see light bulbs anywhere in the house, there's two potential issues. Number one, you don't have light bulbs. Number two, you could have an electrical issue where they're not getting power there. So you wanna get light bulbs there to confirm that the power is working to those areas. Before we step inside, we'll make sure the doorbell works. I don't know if you could hear that, but I did. You're gonna notice blue tape everywhere. That's pretty common. All this blue tape shows the painters where they need to come back and touch up paint. You can see like an arrow here that's pointing to a bad paint job up there. There's arrows pointing up everywhere because the painters didn't do the best of job in those areas. As you walk through the house, you wanna make sure that all doors and windows open and close easily. So you can see here that it unlocks easy, it opens easy, and it locks as well. They will be stiffer, while they're new, and they'll kind of loosen up as time goes on, but both these windows work. Continuing on through the house, you can see this coat closet, nothing really there. I did want to point out, quite often on the front doors, you'll see, on these hinges, a lot of paint and other stuff. Look at this top one here. Pretty bad, so you'll make sure the builder gets that cleaned up as well. And then we have the half bathroom here on the main. And you see a little X here, that's because they didn't have the normal green tape that indicates it might need some patchwork instead of just painting. That is your bathroom, and once again, you got an arrow pointing up. There was some tape residue up there, and you can see here as well, it's got kind of this ripple here. So that needs to be repaired. This is gonna need some patchwork. And let's just test it. Okay, so this is the door to the garage and it stops. Okay, so it's doing its work now, but it probably didn't have the door stop, and that's what happened there. When you step into the garage, you wanna make sure both garage doors open. So that one works. And something's not working over here. Okay, you see the tracks are going, but for whatever reason, it didn't connect in. I'm just gonna try to fix it really quick myself. A lot of times, you grab this handle here and get it to lock in like that. It doesn't feel like it locked in, but we'll push the button and see if it connects. There we go. Okay, so both garage doors open just fine. Then at the bottom of your garage door, you can see those little lasers like this right here. Those are in place to make sure if an animal or a small child runs past the door, that the garage door won't close on top of them and hurt them. So what we're gonna do is push the button and close it and make sure that the laser works. Garage is closing, we're gonna come on over. It's gonna close on us now, and we're going to just kick. And what happened? Door stopped, went back up. And I'll check each one of those doors to make sure the laser's working on both doors. Okay, so stepping back inside, this is the door down to the basement. We'll go down there in just a minute. For now, we're gonna continue on the main floor. This is a beautiful, beautiful kitchen, but just like everything else, you can see the painters slacked and missed this bottom section right here. It's really common to see a lot of paint touch-up that needs to be done, even some repairs of the sheetrock or whatever. And I get in trouble for saying this all the time, but there is no such thing as a perfect home. Yes, you're getting a new home, a brand new home, but homes are made from natural products and they're made by human beings, so mistakes will be made. And some things just happen as a home is settling and as the wood's drying out and things like that. So don't get mad at the superintendent, try to be cool and respectful, and everything should go just fine. But just remember, the house will not be perfect. All right, let's flip the camera back around and I'll explain a few more things you might want to test out. Okay, so when you're in the kitchen, you want to test out the gas stove, make sure it's working. You know, the fan, the lights, the microwave, the oven, you can turn all that stuff on, make sure it's working just fine. Got a nice big pantry in here. The other thing I like to do is test the water to make sure it gets hot. Now, it might take a few minutes for the water to warm up because it probably hasn't been turned on for a while, if ever at all. Okay, so that took just about 1 minute, but the water's getting warm, so we're good to move on. And now you see this beautiful nook area right here and lots of windows. So we're gonna test all these windows, which I've already done that. And then you see this really cool chandelier right here as well. And with these chandeliers, one thing you gotta watch for is cracks in the glass. See that? That's common. That happens all the time. So make sure you're looking out for things like that. And we could not get this door to close and lock, and neither could the superintendent. So they are gonna have to get this fixed. Once again, anything that's not working, you wanna make sure that the superintendent writes it on his list. If he doesn't write it on the list, he doesn't have to do it, and you might not get it repaired ever. So make sure anything that isn't working properly or not working at all is written down on the list. Coming into the family room, you can see there's some sheetrock repair that needs to be done here, right? And then you got paint, I don't know if you can see that, but there's paint like running down the wall here. It's not too bad, but it definitely needs to be painted over. We tested all the windows in here, everything's working great. Put some tape up here as well, kind of just some sloppy workmanship. And the last thing here in this family room might seem kind of silly, but they haven't taken the protective cover off the smoke and carbon monoxide detector. So you wanna make sure they take that off. And then I did notice one thing here in the kitchen. Look, the lights aren't over there, but they're not over here. And light bulbs are missing. So I guess that's probably a good problem. They probably just needed them in another house that was closing sooner, but we'd want that on the list as well. Now we're gonna go down into the basement and then we'll check upstairs. It is kind of dirty here. Probably wanna ask them to get that cleaned up. It is important to remember, like you see this damage right here, and this is not supposed to be like final done. So you can't really ask the builder to get in here and touch this up. It's normally just the way you see that. First thing you see here is this door. Every city's gonna have different codes, but by code, they have to actually put a storm door on here, which is kind of cool for the homeowner. And this is the under the porch area. And what you see back here is the main water shut off for the entire house. So if there's ever an issue, you can just come in and push that down and it'll turn off the water for the entire house. You got your furnace right here and your tankless water heater. This is really common. They've left some flooring and some other tiles, whatever else. The builder's gonna leave extra supplies behind in case there's damage later. It's easy for you to repair it. And they'll do the same for paint and etc. Let's look at this real quick. So you'll notice this long crack here all the way along the basement floor. It's disappointing, I know. You think it shouldn't be cracking, but truth is concrete cracks. And there's nothing major or dangerous about this cracking. It's really thin, like look at compared to my finger. If I could slip a quarter all the way down to there, or if it was jacking up, you know, like this was lower and this other part was higher, that might be a problem. But really, this is just common cracking, and almost every basement in the state of Utah has that. And you might be wondering what these pipes are sticking out of the floor. This is set up for a bathroom, so you can put a tub shower and a sink right here in this area, and then this section back here is probably gonna be a bedroom, right? That's kind of how it's set up. Once again, You have the carbon monoxide detector and smoke detector up here that needs the cover removed. And we're gonna go ahead and test the windows down here, make sure that they open and shut easily and that they lock. I already did the window over there, so now we're gonna head upstairs. So let's head up the stairs here. You wanna check in these places where you can't really see. Drilled some holes that don't need to be there. Here's some sloppy painting right there. And as we hit the top of the stairs, the master bedroom is there to the right. We're gonna check that out last. Check these glass, make sure nothing's cracked or broken there. They look good. And stepping into this bedroom here, open and shut, nice and easy. This was something that we had to have put on the list. This is the hardware for the closet, so you can see the closet's just gonna go back and forth really easy like that, so the hardware needs to be installed to keep those doors in place. And then you can see here, that hasn't been removed. Stepping into the bathroom, once again, we wanna make sure water works on everything. And toilets flush. Tub works. That's good. Tub and shower both work. Okay, next bedroom. See this little damage right here. Got some arrows pointing to some not so amazing painting. Test the window. And when you test the window, you can see the roof right here. It's good to just take a look at the roof really quick to make sure there's nothing to be concerned with. You might also consider hiring a home inspector, especially if you're worried about the product that the builder's putting out there for you. But if you do, remember that you need to schedule that appointment for the inspector before this final walkthrough meeting. So make sure the builder knows that you're planning to hire a home inspector if that's the route you want to go with. As we're leaving this room, you'll notice we put a long strip of tape right there, and that is because this trim right here is missing right there. I don't think I've seen that happen before, because you can see here, that's what it's supposed to look like. It's naked right there. It is common to have doors that don't quite shut right, but this one, look at that, not even close. I don't know if you can see how warped this door is. They're gonna replace that door. That is definitely something you wanna put on the list. Then right here, this is just someone with dirty hands. You gotta blue tape it, so they make sure it's either painted or cleaned. Stepping here into the laundry room, there was no major issues, just a lot of kind of, once again, you can see really light paint there. And then stepping into this room as well. Once again, you'll see some arrows indicating that up here, the paint didn't work. This lock is kind of stiff, but once again, that's normal with these brand new windows. So we're just testing all these doors to make sure that they open and close nice and smoothly. I think you're gonna like this master bedroom. It's pretty awesome, but you will see a lot of tape. And what's kind of unique here, oh, look at that. See, we missed one right there. There's a nail pop right there. So I'm gonna stick some tape up there if I can. I have guided more than 600 people through the home build process, and I'm still missing stuff. So it doesn't hurt to come back a second time before the super comes back and before the painters come back and start doing things. I don't know if I can jump that high, but we're gonna give it a try. Here we go. Hold on. Oh, nailed it. Actually hit a bullseye. So we have already tested the doors and windows in the master bedroom. You are seeing a lot of blue tape here, and guess what? We have a window that won't shut properly. So we can't lock it and shut it, so it just won't close all the way. You can see down here there's a gap. So once again, we wanna make sure that is on the list. And you know, you get these big black marks and it's dirty and whatever else, and I'm not sure if they just need to clean it or paint it, but we're going to blue tape it. Stepping into the master bathroom, turn on some lights. Okay, we're checking these to make sure there's no cracks. Just peek inside the shower here real quick, make sure everything looks good in here. It is common in these little back corners and in closets. The painters often will try to get by without doing their best work because most people don't see it. The master closet was actually where we saw some major surprises. You know, you try not to be too picky in a closet because you're gonna have clothes hanging in here, no one's gonna see it, right? But you still gotta make sure things are done right. It's got like, you know, some little divots, and wall damage here, and look at that. A little bit of a miss for the electrician there. And then we have some kind of big surprises here on the ceiling. Look at that, the paint. For whatever reason, this area was not painted. This closet had a lot of pleasant surprises for us. Okay, so it's super important at these final walkthroughs that you make sure everything is working, and if it's not working, that the superintendent writes it down on his punch list or his to-do list, so he has to get that done before you close. You wanna make sure that all the appliances are working, all the plumbing is working, doors, windows are opening, closing, and locking as they should. You wanna make sure all the paint touch-up is done, caulking, and any sheetrock is repaired that's damaged. If you miss something or the construction manager doesn't put it on his list, the builder probably won't fix it before you close. And most builders, at least the good ones, will come back and honor their warranty and take care of any of those issues. You also make sure you understand how the house works, like where to shut off the water if there's an emergency, and where to shut off the power if there's an emergency, how to shut off the gas if there's an emergency, and things like that. That's pretty much it. So hopefully this video gives you a good idea of what you need to be looking for on your next walkthrough. If you're looking to build a home in Utah, I'd be honored to guide you through the process. Like I mentioned, I've guided over 600 people through the home build process, and I guess you could say I'm pretty good at what I do. Anyways, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Feel free to call or text me with any questions. I can also help you select the best builder where you're looking to build a house. I just want to remind you also that you might be frustrated or tired with the whole process. You might not like the superintendent. You might just be grumpy that day or whatever it is, but don't disrespect the superintendent. If you're respectful to them and ask them politely, they're gonna be way more responsive and way more likely to do stuff. And you know what? You don't have to be a jerk anyways. I love the process. I love building houses, but it's hard. And a lot of people get really upset and it's just not acceptable. Most superintendents take a lot of pride in what they do. They want to do great work for you. And of course, if they don't do what they say they're going to do, hopefully you hired a real estate agent that can go in there and take care of you. But if you haven't, talk to the model home agent. And then if you need to, talk to a supervisor above them. And of course, never ever close on a home if major things aren't completed. If you're moving here from another state, you should probably check out Watch This before you move to Utah. Look for my other recommended videos in the description below. If you're looking to buy, sell, build a home, or invest in Utah real estate, I get contacted all the time. Please feel free to call or text me with your questions. I'd love to meet you, and I'm honored to serve you. For everyone else, please feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you have a friend or a family member looking to build a home, you can easily text this video to them. And please, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below and ring the bell to be notified each time I post new videos. Also, you can find me on Instagram at Ty, the Real Estate Guy. If you found this information helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to ring that little bell below. Make you feel good.